Hello everyone, welcome to the webinar introducing Petrosys PRO 2019.3. My name is Eliis. I'm a support training and sales geoscientist based in Perth. Please note that this webinar will be recorded and uploaded into our website in the coming days. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them at the end of the webinar and I'll do my best to answer them. So today we'll be introducing this new release. We'll discuss the key features in this release and we'll have a short demo on these key features. Before moving into the actual webinar, just to let you know that this is the first webinar of a series of webinars that we will be discussing this new release. For details, go into our website where there will be additional details about the dates and how to register for these webinars. So this is the timeline of releases. This current release, Petrosys PRO 2019.3, was released on March 2020. If you've noticed, we make an important effort to do meaningful releases that are useful to our users. Our next major release will be Petrosys PRO 2020, and we're planning to release it sometime the Q3 of this year. So for this particular release, we have added 87 individual enhancements, taking the total for the 2019 series to 246 enhancements. The key highlights in this particular release are around enhancement and additions to the connectivity to third-party applications, and that's something that you will notice when we start discussing these new features. As I mentioned, Pro 2020 is due to be released in Q3 of this year. Please tell us what you would like to see in this release, because there is still time to influence the features that we will include in this release. So if you have any particular requirement, please get in contact with us as we can still in the process of defining the tasks that we will include in this release. So as I was talking, our next major release is 2020, and this is a brief list of the features that we are considering to develop for this release. A couple that has been quite popular is the ability to display PDF files directly in mapping, and also the ability to being able to do full stick exchange and to the exchange into Petrel. And yeah, as you can see, there are few features, few tasks, but as I mentioned, we're still very open to your feedback and your input. So if there is any particular enhancement or request that you would like us to add to the software, this is the moment to let us know so we can steer the enhancement and the release to the features that you would like to be included into our software. So discussing about the key features, I'll just have a couple of slides and then it'll make more sense when we get to the demo. So the first key connector that we have added to our release is the connector to Eliis Paleoscan. So now we're able to import Paleoscan horizons to Petrosys grid files. We can also directly display Paleoscan horizon as grids in Petrosys mapping. We can display them as well in the 3D viewer, and we can also use the Paleoscan grid in surface modeling as an input to create additional grids. So I'll show you quickly how that works when we get to the demo. Please note that Paleoscan data IO key is required For more information about this model, you need to contact Eliis, and they will be able to provide details about this one. The other key connector that we have added to this release is the ability to display and work with tNavigator data by rescue format. So if are familiar with tNavigator, you're able to export data into a rescue format, and then Petrosys is now able to work with this rescue format. So any data like wells, 3D grids, and properties that are included into these rescue files now are supported in Petrosys, so we can display them directly in mapping, but also in the 3D viewer. And as I was mentioning, the rescue formats help to enable that exchange for Earth and reservoir models between tNavigator, Petrosys, and a host of other applications. So let's now have a quick demo on these features. So let's start with this one here. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we can do with Paleoscan data. So we go, for example, in this case, to display grid. We now have an option to select Paleoscan as one of the data sources, and this is when we were talking about a new connector. So we select Paleoscan, we connect to the project. In this case, I'm going to select this project. Once the connection has been established, then we're able to select any grid that is included into into that rescue file that is being connected to in the previous step, right? So in this case, let me choose this one here. Okay, so same features that we would normally have for any grids in Petrosys. And let me repeat for another grid that we have here. So again, we'll go inside, okay, display, and this is how we will display grids directly from Paleoscan into Petrosys. So things like, for example, query value data within this grid, you just hold your mouse and you scroll around, and in the bottom section you will see the particular value for this grid. If you want to do a quick export at this stage, you just can right click, select export grid, and you can export directly from within mapping into any of these formats. So that's what we can do from mapping. If I close this one here, so let me go to this one here, and I'm going to open surface modeling. I'll show you what we can do within surface modeling for this new connector. So if we go to File, Exchange, Grids, as input data source, we now have also the option to select Paleoscan. I select Paleoscan as source, I connect to my project, and it recognizes all the grids that we have within that particular rescue file. So if I select all of them, I specify where they will be saved within my Petrosys project, click OK, and those grids has been now exported. And if I go, for example, to my system file manager, go into Petrosys grid, so those grids are now in Petrosys grid format because I just imported them from Paleoscan into Petrosys. The other thing that you can do within surface modeling regarding this new connector is to create grids and using Paleoscan data as input data to create grids. So I have already selected these two grids as my input data. If I click in any of these, you will see that you now have the option to select Paleoscan grid as an input data to create your grid. So that's the other thing that you can do with Paleoscan data when you're working with Petrosys. So let's close this, and now let's go to show you what you can do with the connector to rescue data, which allows you to display tNav data. So again, you go to the display grid option. Instead of now selecting Paleoscan, we are going to choose the other new option, which is rescue file. You point to your rescue file and you will see that you have the option to display the horizon or the properties that are embedded within that model. So in this particular case, I will choose horizon, I will choose this particular grid here, click OK, and now I'm displaying my grid from a rescue file in Petrosys. That's one way to display a rescue file. You can go one by one, displaying grid, horizons, or going to display wells and select rescue file, point to that rescue file, the same one that we're working with, and you can display your wells there as well. What I will do is just to show you a way that you can display all of them simultaneously. So if you go now to display, and you will see that there is a new option called any data. If you click in that option here, and then you change to the rescue grid file, and you select the particular model, what this will do is that it will try to display any format of data within that rescue file that we support in Petrosys. So in this case, it's telling me that that rescue model has, it will be creating a well layer, 4 rescue file horizon layers, and 20 rescue file 3D grid layers in that particular one. So if you want to continue, which I do, I click yes, and it will automatically display all that data that it is contained into that rescue model. So if we wait for a couple of more seconds, and then that will be displayed into our mapping window, and this is what we get. We get, as you can see on top, one well layer, up to 4 horizons, and then up to 20 property grids. So everything that is contained within the rescue file is being displayed simultaneously and automatically by going into display any data. So that's a quick way of displaying things. Okay, that's it for tNav. Also, we can display data from the 3D viewer for both for tNav and Paleoscan. So if I go into the 3D viewer, go file, recent, I'm just going to show you one that I previously created. So the same data that we are displaying mapping from tNav or rescue, we can display them as well in the 3D viewer. So if we go into display properties, we'll see a similar scenario. So we have rescue file, we have Paleoscan, and we can display all of them with the same option that I showed you mapping within the 3D viewer. The last thing that I wanted to show you is the fall sticks. So as you know, we have supported within Petrosys fall sticks for quite a while now in doing exchange of fall sticks or use them as an input data to create grid. Now we have added an additional support, which is the display of fall sticks in the mapping window. So as you will see, there is a new functionality here, which is this icon here, which allows us to display 4 sticks, but we can also go through menus. So we go to display, 4 sticks, and we have a series of sticks here. Have pre-selected these ones that belong to a particular model. You have the option to set the style, which is auto, constant, or gradient. I will leave it as a gradient, and click OK, and it will automatically display the 4 sticks. In this case, and reading the full sticks from a Petrel project, but you can display full stick from any of these sources, right? And that's how you will quickly do it to display those sticks within mapping. The additional uh, feature that we have added regarding full sticks and exchange is that we are now able to uh, drag and drop or select or use the blue arrows within the exchange option. So for example, if I go to file exchange, like the option of like full sticks, grids, or 3D seismic service allowed to use drag and drop now. So if I, for example, go to full sticks, I select my input source as Petrel, I click the blue arrows, so I automatically select the full sticks that I have selected in my input in my Petrel in my input panel in Petrel. So I can just drag and drop or use the blue arrows. That's something that has been added into the software. So that's all that I wanted to demonstrate you today. If we go to the last slide. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them now. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining us. Remember that we have a support portal where you can uh, look for a bunch of workflows on how to uh, do particular tasks in Petrosys. So I recommend you to go into the client portal, portal.petrosys.com.au, and you can also reach us at support@petrosys.com.au anytime that you need some support. Thank you very much.